and welcome to the Shimmy Mob Spotlight series. I am so excited today to have with us as a guest, Kat Maihen. Did I say that right, Kat?
Maihen, yes.
Maihen, awesome. All the way from Las Vegas, Nevada. And I've had the privilege to meet you in person and dance with you on World Belly Dance Day a couple of years ago. So welcome to this series.
Thank you for having me.
I'm especially excited to have you here in this series because, well, first of all, because I've met you personally. I've had that privilege to see you in person and to dance with you, but also because you've been very, very dedicated as a team leader for Shimmy Mob. Can I ask you, how did you get involved in belly dance in the first place? What got you into it?
You know, well, I was a single mom. I was raising 2 kids, and then I married my husband. And as time went on, he said that I needed a hobby of my own because, you know, the kids have soccer and dance and everything, and he played the drums. So he thought I needed a hobby, and I just started looking into different things that I thought maybe I would like. It was very awkward at first, but stumbled upon belly dance, and I haven't stopped.
Wow. So how long has that been?
10 years.
Wow. Wow. Do your kids belly dance too? Are they girls, boys?
They're girls, but
girls?
no, I've tried, but no.
That's okay. I have one of my own that she was never interested in either. So it's not for everybody, right?
Not for everybody, agreed.
So tell me about your communities. You have quite a large group. And I personally, I mean, I didn't ask this while I was there, but I sensed it. And maybe I was wrong. Maybe I'm wrong, but so correct me if I am. But I have a feeling that there was a large number of women who were in the group when I was there that had dealt with abuse on a personal level, well, whether it was for themselves or someone they knew. Am I correct that a large number of the group?
Yeah, absolutely. And so many of them, like you said, even though it might not have been personal or they are affected, many family members or friends in situations that they've gone through. So a lot of them have, and, you know, it's not always talked about out in the open, but, you know, one-on-one, I've had definitely many conversations with some of the women who've gone through different situations or friends of situations.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Do you find now on your application, you mentioned this, so, and I asked you before we did this recording, so I wanted to make sure it was okay because these are sensitive subjects. You mentioned that you were abused as a child. And do you find that now that you're an adult, do you find that dance in any way has helped you with that aspect of dealing with it, or do you feel like you had already dealt with it when you got into dance? Can you share a little bit about that?
Yeah, well, as a child, I was abused by my birth father for like 8 years, and I was very young. I was like between 6 and 13 years old. So I went through all those phases of being a victim and not really understanding, you know, not feeling guilty, because sometimes as guilt victims, we tend to feel guilty. And then moving on to the survivor stage where I wanted to overcome what I had went through, make sure my children weren't going through anything and were aware of situations out there. And then by the time I got into belly dance, confidence is still something that I've always struggled with because of my childhood. So I feel that dance has been able to improve my confidence, meet other women, and create bonds that, you know, you can talk and discuss things that you wouldn't normally with your coworkers or something like that. But it's been freeing in a sense. So I've truly enjoyed it, and every year it gets better. So
and now you help other women.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Right. So you teach, correct?
I do. I teach a very beginning level. So
okay. So as you've been dancing for 10 years, you started 10 years ago. Is there a particular style that you started with, and did you stick with that style, or have you tried different styles? Of what style do you teach? Tell us more about you.
I know, yeah. Well, I started with cabaret. I studied with Aradia of Las Vegas and her assistant Leslie out here for many, many years, and some other cabaret dancers. Probably just this past year, I've ventured out a little bit into the tribal dancing. As I mentioned, my husband's a drummer and he actually records CDs. So there's a couple songs that he did and I've actually danced to. So in that aspect, stepping outside of my box, because it's definitely not something I normally do, but I'm enjoying it. And hopefully down the road, it's something that we can collaborate together and do, for the rest of our lives.
That is fantastic. Wow, it's nice to have your own drummer.
I know. Everybody's like jealous.
So do you ever like say, oh, pull out the drum, I just want to dance right now? Do you ever do that? Or is it more, yeah?
Yeah, we do. There's been some nights, but it's so weird that I feel very shy dancing in front of them. That's something I still have to overcome, and and I'm not quite sure why, but on a stage it's fine because everybody's far away, but up close, and I don't know, it's different. It's a learning curve.
Oh, well, you can practice anytime you want, though.
I know.
That is awesome. Fantastic. That's fantastic. I'm sure there are a lot of dancers right now that go, oh man, she's so lucky to have that. So
absolutely.
Cherish it. It's nice to also that he's so supportive. Like he's the one who got you to start dancing in the first place. Was he a drummer at the time, or did he get into the drumming after?
He was an alternative music drummer, and he didn't get into playing tabla until a couple of years ago.
Oh, wow.
He started dancing, yeah, so pretty recently, but he's caught on really, really quick, and he's actually written a drum solo that we're going to perform at Dreams of Cairo that a radio of Las Vegas choreographed. So he'll be dancing or he'll be drumming while we're all dancing. So it's
nice. And you had mentioned to me before we started this interview that Shimmy Mob is going to perform at this event as well.
Yes.
Can you tell us more about the event and how Shimmy Mob fits in the event and all that?
Yeah, well, the organizer, Layla Amir, she started Dreams from Cairo in the intensive used to be out here, and that kind of went away. So she thought, what is something else that she can bring here to Las Vegas and expose women to the Middle Eastern culture? And September 8th, 9th, and 10th, she's bringing dancers from Egypt, and she's going to have music and a festival and vendors and everything. And she came and supported the Shimmy Mob event that we did just this past year, and invited us to perform, and also very committed to the cause, shall I say, in different ways. So she invited us, and of course we said yes.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. Now, just for those who are watching this interview who may not have been involved in Shimmy Mob or not even involved in belly dance, but they assume that all the people that are involved are dancers and they do this professionally all the time. You have a daytime job, don't you?
I have a full-time daytime job. Yes, it requires a lot.
What do you do? Do you mind sharing what you do so that people see that it's not, that's what I'm trying to show to the people who may be watching this who are not involved in Shimmy Mob, that it's really anybody can come in. You don't have to be like a super pro or anything to be involved. So what's your job? What's your day job?
I will say that I'm an investigator for the state. We'll just leave it at that. But there are, yeah, it's very, very cool. I get to fight crime sometimes on my days, regular job. But that's the whole thing, is there's so many women who are involved, whether they're teachers or homemakers or social workers, just anybody, you don't have to be a belly dancer for years on years. Girls are a little intimidated at first, belly dance can feel awkward, but I think the choreography may sometimes be challenging, but doable. So as long as you can get together and work with the girls, they appreciate everything that you put in to helping them learn the dance and be a part of the Shimmy Mob.
Now, you've been part of Shimmy Mob since...
wasn't
the blue shirt? Was the blue shirts?
Yes.
The blue shirts. So we refer to the years based on the color of the shirts. So that would have been 2012.
Yes, 2012. And then I had taken a break for a year. And then when I came back, I decided to try the team leader side and have been since. So it's been,
and you've been doing a great job.
Well, thank you. Thank you. I've had a lot of help. Mari Jepson's been a great supporter. And each year more girls are, say, hey, where can I help you? What can I do? And it really is a team effort. It's not all one person. Everybody.
Yeah, well, especially you have a big team, so that would require assistance. It's hard to do it all on your own. So it helps to have that extra. I mean, it's possible to do it on your own, but it really is wiser to have other people help and get them involved as well, because that's where you get the most out of the event anyway, being involved.
Yeah, for sure. We had, I think, over 50 girls, and I have a couple of them who, do rehearsals at their home studios and donation collecting and stuff. And hopefully, we'll see how this next year goes. If I told Mari she needs to become the team leader, and I'll support her.
Yay!
Like you said, it doesn't
Well,
always have to be the same person.
she's part of the series, so we did do a recording as well. So hers will be, I don't know, by the time yours airs, I'm not sure if hers is coming out first or yours, but she's in the series. So for those watching, you're gonna also connect and follow Mary's interview as well, so you make the connection of who the assistant is. So when I was there, Kat, I remember the shelter that you were representing. The representative was there that day, and we know the statistics. So what is being put up there, the information is that 1 in 3 women are victims of domestic abuse. And I asked her but those are generic, so it's kind of hard to, like in some places more, in some places less. So I remember asking the representative if she knew what the statistics were for your area, and she said it was, I don't know if you remember this, but she said it was 1 in 2. And to me, that was like, this is half the people, and this is just what's reported.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Right. So we know it's really sad. Like, so knowing this, and I know a lot of people are shy about coming forward for, to say what's going on in the personal life, or maybe by the side. And because I've had a lot of locations where they've told me that things have happened because the Shimmy Mob team was performing, or because they were wearing their t-shirt where they were able to help somebody or give them information or support them in some way. Has that happened in Las Vegas since you've been a team leader? Have you, either personally or somebody in your team, come across somebody who's been able to be helped because of what Shimmy Mob has done, or is it more people are more quiet about it and they're afraid to ask? Because obviously the stats are high. Yeah.
It's definitely, I would say, a little bit more on the quiet end. They will approach you and say that they're very into the cause. And I've had, after the Shimmy Mob, I've had people contact me and say, hey, I know you're involved in this. What can you help me? I've had girlfriends contact me because they know I'm involved with Shade Tree, ask me who they can call, where they can get assistance and everything. It has happened. And even just in my own personal life too, close friends and family have realized that, wow, I was in a situation and I didn't realize it was a situation. So many times you have no idea. So there have definitely been moments that I like to think that it has definitely got them away from a situation that they shouldn't have been in.
I'm actually so glad that you said something right now the way you just said it, and I think I heard you correctly. So if I didn't hear correctly, please correct me. That almost sounds like a tongue twister, but you said sometimes you don't know you are in that situation. And that's what happened to me. Like, it didn't feel right, felt uncomfortable, but I always put the blame on myself, thinking there was something I was doing wrong. And it's something that a lot of people don't realize, that they may be in an abusive situation. I'm not saying everybody's in an abusive situation, but there are so many cases where people are in an abusive situation and they don't recognize it as such, no matter how bad it is. And
I think when I was younger, like I said, when I was sexually molested by my birth father, it was at a very young age. I didn't know it wasn't normal. I had no idea. Nobody, it's not something that people discussed. It didn't come up in conversation until, and like you said, there's uncomfortableness or something's not right, but you don't know any better. And then, in women in domestic violence situations, sometimes the man's the one financially supporting them. They feel like there's no way out, and it's the only solution is to say it's not.
Yeah, there's that. There's also a lot of insecurity of saying, what's the word? Not a lot of self-worth, where they feel, I'd rather stay with this person who treats me badly, and once in a while maybe he's nice to me, than being alone, because no one else would ever love me because I'm not worthy of that, or I would never find something like that, because there's that aspect as well. So it's not always financial. I have seen both, where women who've actually been very successful successful as financial people.
Mhm.
They're the breadwinner, and then they're financially abused by their partner or their spouse. So it kind of goes both ways.
Absolutely.
But you're totally right. Like I think the majority of the women in this case tend to stay because they're the ones who need the financial support.
Mhm.
So yeah. Now going back to the events that are coming up, you said it's Dreams of Cairo. That's the name of the
From Cairo.
Dreams from Cairo. That's fantastic. Now you teach. Where can people find you to get information about where you teach, your classes, information about the show that you're performing at?
Yeah,
Where do they find you?
I do have a website, which is bellydance.vegas, because not .com, because we got a .vegas out here. We're on the map. So bellydance.vegas, and there I have upcoming events. I have teachers, belly dance for hire. It's something that's new, but I was just finding like a home base for everything. Sometimes in different communities, belly dance is the cities are so far apart. Here we're close, so I'm just trying to collaborate everything in one area. But I have not only myself as a teacher on there, I have other teachers, other dancers, and any upcoming events. So if anybody wants to post or will be a dancer visiting to Vegas and will be performing somewhere, let me know. I can put a flyer on the website and promote.
Very nice to start building this like online sort of community, or to help the community kind of have like a little portal there. That's awesome. So what's the big vision? Do you have a big vision with this?
I don't know. It's still in the baby stages. I feel like it can grow, but really just to have people to have access to that, whether they're visiting or whether they're the locals, they've never done belly dance, they want to try it, or they
Mhm.
want to get a group of girls together, whether it's a bachelorette party or bridal shower or something, and say, hey, can we get somebody to come, and teach us some dance, or whether it's to hire one for a wedding or event or anything like that. I think Shimmy Mob's allowed me to meet so many different women in the community who don't always come together. So I've been able to branch out and reach out to different people. So if events come up, then, I can spread the love and find the appropriate dancers or troupe.
That is awesome. So do you also perform like as a soloist or with a troupe, or do you just teach?
Yeah, no, I do perform. I perform with a different ladies, Death by Shimmy, Aradia's troupe, and I also do Hypno Tribe, which I dance with Sarah Lynn. She's the tribal gal. She's been teaching out here for a couple of years now, and I like to move around. I've danced with a lot of different instructors. I think that belly dance is something that is a continuous lifetime learning. You can learn so many different things, and but I do. I dance solo, I dance in troops, and hopefully soon with the drummer boy in the other room.
Well, you're a beautiful dancer. I had the opportunity to see a video of you. I believe it was either Veil or Poi. Was it?
Well,
Was it?
yeah.
Yeah, and it was absolutely stunning. So people watching this, see if you can go online and find it. Is it on YouTube channel?
Yes, I do have it. I have to see. It should just be under Cat for Poi Val, and
Okay. Cat
but
for
it
Poi.
was
That's CAT.
CAT. Yes.
CAT. Yeah. No, it was absolutely stunning. I saw that. I'm like, wow, that was very well done. So,
And that was the first dance I did to my husband's song. Backhouse Lily is the name of his band, and
oh, nice.
Poi Val too. It was so weird. It worked out well.
It did. It did. It was very beautiful. And when you can see something on video that is so beautiful, it's magnified in person. So I know that in person it was a lot more powerful than it was on the video. So congratulations on that. It's just absolutely pretty. Yeah, very, very pretty. Well, Kat, this has been lovely to have you here in the series.
Thank you.
Is there anything else that you might want to share, or are you good? Like, is there anything else you'd like to share?
If there's anybody out there who's never belly danced and just wants to give it a whirl, Shimmy Mob is the way to go. I mean,
Oh,
right down the instructor, the tutorials, everything is just, you've done a really good job at putting it together and growing it worldwide. It's a great thing to be a part of, and I thank you for that.
well, thank you. Is it helps to have really good team leaders that help. Otherwise, it wouldn't be working, right?
That's true.
So it's a team effort. It's a community effort, right? So we just happen to have a global community, which is fantastic. What I personally like about Shimmy Mob is that it's global, but it's also local.
Yeah.
So it has that both those components. So you get the local and the reach outside and connect with other people as well. Anyway, thank you so much. Your website, once again, is bellydance.vegas. So that's where you can find out about CATS lessons and things that are happening in the community, and also about the event that's coming up in September. So
awesome.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, well, bye for now.
Bye.
Thank you so much for watching the Shimmy Mob video spotlight series. If you enjoyed this episode, please leave a comment below. And if you would like to be featured in the future, send us an email at shimmymob@gmail.com.